We were relationship goals, now we are over. This is still very fresh. The 1st of June, our 3rd wedding anniversary, my husband told me he did not love me anymore and that he thought he never loved me. We were together for 13 years. I'm 34 and he is 33, we have no kids. We were happy. We were this couple where people look up to. We had fun, passion, respect and love. He would tell me he loved me daily. We never fought and we were thick as thieves. He told me I was still his best friend and favorite person. He found me very attractive and that touching me felt like coming home. However, this was not enough for him. He said he missed the butterflies and described emotions I would associate to a new relationship. It was very obvious there was a third player in the game. A coworker who came by all the time while our country was in freaking lockdown. I saw she was trying to seduce him from miles away. However, he told me to trust him and that they were just friends. I did trust him, my bad. He started to emotionally cheat on me and admitted to be in love with her. They did not have time yet, but I'm not sure how happy I should be about that. He broke our rental contract, moved out and got the divorce papers ready in under 2 weeks' time. I just felt he couldn't wait to get together with his new beau. Now here comes the confusing part. He moved back into his parents' house, even though he still has contact with her. He told her to cool it down and he just wants to be alone for a while. Meanwhile, he plays it fast and loose with me. Some days he walks into our house to get stuff or to organize something and he is cold as ice. Arrogant. Completely sure he is doing the right thing. I'm simply not enough for him. He makes me feel worthless and replaceable. Other days he is a mess. Crying, trying to touch me, telling me he is so confused and feels so bad. That he misses me. That he needs the divorce as a hard reset, that he hopes that he will find me back. He is also showing major signs of depression. He still calls me his pet names like sweetie, darling, etc. in person and in text. He still insists on hugging me when he leaves and then he holds on to me for dear life. If he is simply going off a dark place, I want to help him. I read people can fall out of love and get seduced by another partner simply because they are hedonistic and can't feel anything. It would make a lot more sense that he is not himself than that I would have been lied to for 13 years. However, I don't know how. I told him I still loved him and that I'm here for him. He just said he didn't deserve that. I try to keep out of his way as much as possible and don't contact him. However, I'm afraid I'm just lying to myself and setting myself up for another big disappointment. I guess the biggest question is he divorcing me because he is depressed, or is he depressed because he is divorcing me? Update: what I learned after being left for another woman. Strap in, this is long. Almost 2 months ago, the worst thing happened to me. My husband, who I considered the undisputed love of my life, just up and went for some rando coworker who seduced him. However, I'm not the wallowing type. Even in situations where you are reduced to just collateral damage to your ex-partner's desires, you can still take control. Not having any say in this is very difficult. I'm quite introspective, open and honest about my own shortcomings. This makes me a great partner for relationship counseling or personal growth. I was very motivated to do the work needed and to make compromises. But I was met with a destructive certainty of my ex-husband that I was not enough for him and would never again be good enough. It is very easy to take the role of victim and drop yourself in the abyss of self-pity. I, however, will take this pain and hurt as a sharp motivator for self-exploration and growth. These extreme situations have the benefit of stripping you down to your essence. Pain can be used as fuel, and if you take these dark chapters as an opportunity to improve, you are no longer just a passive victim of whatever the husband tornado wants to do to you. I'm sharing the lessons I learned from being abandoned in the hope it helps you, dear reader. If not, writing it down for you helped me significantly, so thank you for that. Anger can only destroy. I get these very well-intended advice of friends and family to get angry, to hate him, to take all he has. The other motto is don't get mad, get everything. Beside the point that this is not in line with my character, limited experience with it showed me it is the worst advice ever. I never screamed or threw things at him when we were together, so it feels wrong to do so now. Like I'm cheating on myself. I'm not that magnanimous, so I did scream at him when he unceremoniously made me sign the papers. Like it was nothing. Like I was signing a greeting card. Not that I was expecting a funeral for my marriage, but a little respect and pause would have been nice. The only thing I learned from screaming and acting out on my anger is that it is bottomless. Anger is not a dead end. Anger is an infinite staircase into never-ending darkness. Don't throw yourself down those stairs. They are very hard to climb afterwards. Also, I felt guilty for the pain I was inflicting on an already confused and broken individual. Anger is not an emotion that can fuel you, it can only drain you. Don't believe the advice that anger and hate is a good alternative for the pain. For all intents and purposes, pain is the superior feeling. Lean into the pain. It is super counterintuitive to lean into the pain and try to enjoy it. In these moments where you feel like you will never be happy and your life is destroyed, everything becomes more sharp. You suddenly realize how happy you were and what you appreciated about your relationship. If me and my ex never get to fix this relationship, then I can take these lessons to the next relationship. Being happy is great, but it makes you comfortably numb. We humans strive for comfort, but the price we pay is a more leveled life. We avoid the very big lows, but that makes that we are not able to really perceive and appreciate the sharp highs as well. Pain gives me access to my most precious memories of me and my husband. Yes, they come with a sharp ping that I will never have this again, but I can experience them so vividly. See the beauty so clearly. Music we used to listen to, I can really experience the emotions in the songs now instead of just mindlessly drumming on with my life. My senses are heightened. I'm living more purposefully, more aware. Physical pain has the purpose to make us stop using the wounded limb and take time to heal. Emotional pain has the same function. How tragic would it be if I could just walk away from 13 years with just a shrug? People tell me I wasted 13 years of my life. I don't agree. I was happy. If I don't cherish it and mourn it, then I agree. Then I wasted 13 years. So lean into the pain. Shortcuts to get rid of it takes lying to ourselves and going for destructive certainties. He doesn't deserve me. Good riddance. This is good. I'm better than this. I understand the appeal to the pain, but it will impoverish you. And yes, it is very difficult that my husband just can walk out like it is nothing, but I don't envy him, I pity him. You are the lucky one if you find yourself in a situation where your partner is unwilling to work for something so important to you. It feels like you are a victim. You are. I am. My husband never let on that something was wrong, that he was missing something. There were never any opportunities for me to help or to save our relationship. There are no words for how infuriating this is. However, I will argue, I'm the lucky one. I have it easy. At the end of the day, even with all your shortcomings, you have not failed anybody. You just have to deal with the pain inflicted on you. The failure of the marriage is not on the person who was willing to work for it, but the person who decided all by themselves that no work will be done. This puts a lot of responsibility on that person. Don't forget that in the process of destroying your life, they have successfully destroyed their own lives as well. They might be completely sure they are doing the best thing for themselves and they will be happier. The thing is, they have to be right. If they are not, and they often aren't, they have to face the destruction they caused for limited or no benefit. Research supports the idea that the grass rarely is greener. Don't underestimate the guilt and the pressure plaguing that new relationship as well. You just have to take care of yourself. That is all. And you got this. You did not lose from another woman being put aside for a new partner as murder on your self-esteem. Are you not funny enough, skinny enough, beautiful enough, sexy enough, sweet enough, smart enough? Let go of these ideas. You were the love of his life for so long. You were great. However, You are just one person, you will never be another person. Yes, you can grow and improve, but you are still just you. The only thing the other woman has, she is not you, that is it. She has the new car smell. Also, there are some things you need to consider about this type of woman. The type that actively seduces married men can't be taken as a prime example of a trustworthy and well-adjusted person. It reeks of underlying issues to me. When your husband chose you those years ago, he chose you from all the women that were in his surroundings. You had 100 reds of nameless, faceless competitors in the sea of possibilities. He chose you. Now the women who go for married man, they make it easy on themselves. Well, short term anyway, they only have one competitor. She just has to learn your shortcomings your husband struggles with, and she can pretend to be this opposite, this inverted version of you. When he chooses her, he goes for somebody who is portraying a fantasy, an escape out of the boring daily dread that is it. He is not choosing her above you. You will also often notice that men have fared down, so don't kill yourself with asking how he can possibly think she is better than you. She is not. If she was, she would have found a free man ages ago to have her own precious relationship. If she was so amazing, she wouldn't have to target married man. Now this will sound super crazy, but you should pity her. Now she has snatched your price. She needs to maintain this fantasy she created. She can never be her true self and has to perpetuate this inverted version of you, inadvertently keeping you part of the relationship forever. She has to remember you as to never become you. Next to that, she has to stand in your shadow, faces family members who loved you to pieces and are missing you. She will have to go up against 13 years of memories and precious moments shared, important life-changing moments like weddings, births, funerals that you were a part of, a plethora of pictures and family albums where you are beaming as a beloved part of that family. Cheaters usually don't end up happy together. In 17% of the cases, it results in a long-term relationship. 50% of the people who initiate a divorce, especially those who leave for another partner, regret the divorce. You do the math. Also think about the fact she diminished her price by winning it. She now has a man that she groomed herself to be open to cheating, a person who abused the trust of his partner, whose only crime was loving him unconditionally for 13 years. Is that a bell that can be unrung? I'm not sure. Trusting is a talent. My undoubtedly loving, supporting friends and family mean well when they say they don't understand how I could let it come this far. I saw this siren coming to seduce my husband from miles away. However, I trusted my husband to be able to regulate the friendship they had and not take it too far. I was mistaken. Friends tell me never to make that mistake again. Never trust again. I'm here again to disagree. My ability to trust him is a gift. One he is not taking away from me. He failed me. He failed to rise up to my level of maturity and deserve the trust he got. Don't let people convince you that trust is a weakness. It is brave and strong. Giving people the benefit of the doubt gives them the freedom to rise to the occasion and to show you their true self. Yes, they can disappoint you hard, but would you have learned that if you didn't trust them from the beginning? Also, distrust is only a breeding ground for more issues. I could have told her to get the hell out of our lives, forbid my husband all contact. I doubt it would have helped, but it would have given me an active role in this mess. I would always have to wonder if another intervention would have been more successful, or if my actions exacerbated the issue. Now there are only two people who are both unworthy of trust. That is on them, not me. You did not love too much. Deeply connecting to a person, bringing the best out of the person, getting joy and gratification from making another person happy is not a weakness. If you are able to dissolve completely in a sense of us without losing your clear concept of self and also attaining your own dreams and ambitions, you are talented. You were able to experience a relationship on a high level. You were not used. You did not discount yourself. You fully went for the connection. Be proud of that, not ashamed. You did not give too much. You did not let people walk over you. You loved to the full extent of your abilities. Nobody can fault you for that. Use this talent to get over this divorce. I noticed how connected I can feel to people I never realized that I could connect with. I'm very open to my coworkers, and they in turn share their pain, connecting with me on a deeper level. I realize everybody has their pain. They survived and thrived. I'm grateful for their stories and strength. It makes me feel more connected to this world. I can feel very happy for random strangers just enjoying their lives. Run with your talent and connect to yourself, love yourself and the people surrounding you. Be proud. You are a treasure and he is experiencing the true loss. And if he never realizes his mistake, then there is a person out there that doesn't realize yet how blessed he is that you will love him one day soon. Hope is a double-edged sword. I never realized this before, but hope is a very strange and cruel emotion. It is also not something that you can do moderately. When people say, hold on to hope but not too much, I don't know how that would work. You either hope or you don't. It also is painful to do and painful to stop doing. Hope is like standing on an edge balancing on your toes. You just need this very small nudge to plunge in an unknown depth, and you have no clue how hard the ground will be. You fear the nudge, sometimes you get off the ledge because the fear for the plunge is too big. But you get back on because there still is a chance, however small, that you will be able to step off that ledge and fly. It can feel so dumb to hope. What am I actually hoping for? Even if my husband realizes he had all he needed all along, what am I getting back? Can I ever trust this person again? What does this say about my self-respect if I allow him to keep me as a backup plan? Will I be living in fear for the rest of my life that he decides to fall out of love again? I'm afraid to hope and afraid to stop hoping. How deep is the plunge, and will I be able to survive without hope? I still don't know how to manage this. When my husband shows doubt or tells me he still loves me, I get back on that ledge. But some moments he is so sure about this divorce, and I see my life playing out as a lonely person while he starts a family with a siren, and I can't face that yet. So I talk myself back off that ledge. I know it is hard. I know you are suffering. I am suffering. I'm not over my husband, and I still love him intensely and dearly. I'm aware our relationship was not perfect, but it was great, and the number of wonderful moments overwhelmingly outnumber the few dark hours we had. In the back of my mind, I keep hoping he will see the errors of his ways. However, I do not put my happiness on one person. There is no person who can make you fully happy anyway. I know you got this. I got this. We are letting go of any self-doubt, self-pity, anger, and hate. Kill the demons with love. Love the people who hurt you enough to see that you shouldn't envy or hate them but pity them. I wish you all the best. Update: today is the longest time to not have contact with my STBX, and I'm broken. A few years ago I was back in business school and I spent 4 months abroad. It was the longest I did not see my husband. He came to visit 2 times, so I guess it was about a month and a half at a time. We would call and text all the time. Now I'm 2 months into this nightmare of him just quitting a relatively happy marriage. He told me he was not unhappy, that he easily could have spent his life with me. I'm his best friend, he loves me and finds me very sexy. But he wanted the butterflies, and he was feeling that for this coworker of his. Don't want to sound delusional, but everything was pretty ducking fixable. But you can't fix a marriage with someone who is convinced that being completely free of me is the only way to get better. He is also going through a major depression. The divorce has been very amicably, to a point I think I'm making this too easy for him. I'm letting him getting away with being a total asshole because he is depressed. The last weeks we would text each other, telling each other how we are doing. I would see him in the weekend. We would talk and I would be there for him. He told me I'm one of the few people who still asks him how he is doing. This weekend I was out and did not see him. So I'm no contact for a full week. I know it is not that long, but it feels like forever. I'm fighting so hard not to send him a text. I just want to know how he is doing. I keep torturing myself with the idea that he already forgot about me. Weekends suck. There is too much time and I'm not used to be so lonely. When my life was not destroyed, I had his family brunch every Sunday. I would hang with his best friend and his girlfriend often when they would work on their cars. My life was so rich with loved ones, and with losing my husband, who was obviously my most favorite person, I lost so much. I'm so alone. It just breaks me. It feels so unfair. He just walks out and leaves without any effort to make things right, no work, nothing. And I lose so much, and all I did all those years is give my everything to him. He has his family, friends. Luckily I have my dog, or I would be completely broken. Sorry for the rant. I just need to keep myself from texting him. Update: he contacted me to check how I'm doing. He got worried after me being silent for so long. I told him I was giving him what I thought he wanted. He told me indeed that it was helping him. I know it sounds petty, but it makes me feel worse. Like he is having the best time and starting to enjoy his life without me. This is so hard. Update: how high on the infidelity scale is emotional cheating? I would be totally supportive if there was not another player who entered the game. A coworker who he did not have time with yet, maybe a time of writing he has Ike. She was far from hidden. Spending Friday nights with him to work on her bike, coming for walks with my husband when I was out for my dressage lessons. When I told my husband I was feeling uncomfortable with the level of fun he was having with her and the lack of things we did together, he called me insecure. Timist because he could do that with his male friends, etc. It was like a car crash in slow motion. I could see it coming but couldn't make it stop. Like a frigging nightmare. The final days he was chatting with her 24/7, laughing at his phone like a love-drunk teenager. But again, when I addressed it, he was like, "I love you, don't be silly." When the penny dropped, he told me she was the catalyst, the person who made him realize how terrible our relationship was. It objectively was not, I swear it to you. Here is the punchline: they did not have time because he respects me too much for that. Also, he says, but cheaters are liars. He will not pursue a relationship with her. Well, not right away. He wants to be alone. However, you never know, and why not were also answers when I asked him if they would become a couple. I told him that if he is depressed and needs the divorce to get better, then I'm willing to be supportive if he drops the other girl. He refuses. Now tell me, I keep calling him a cheater, but people correct me. But this destroyed our marriage. Clearly this is cheating. Edit. Spelling. Update: she will have to live with a man knowing how easy it is to convince him to cheat. The man she took is not the man I had. The man I had never lied. He was honest and reliable. The man she took lied to a person he considered the most special person in his life. A person who gave him everything and did nothing to deserve this. The man I had made me feel safe and secure. I slept well knowing he was there for me. He was exciting, fun, and full of life. I built my future on him and he on me. I never wanted to check his phone or felt I had to keep an eye on the people he met. He never gave me a reason to mistrust. The man she took is able to cheat and betray. Destroy lives for a passing fancy. He is unstable, guilt-ridden, and depressed. Who's texting him now? Where is he now? Are they really just friends? This is her life now. A life I don't want and she is welcome to have. The man I had introduced me to his family with pride. This was the love of his life. The way we met was a story for in the movies. It brought joy every time it was retold. This family I had loved me as one of their own and missed me dearly. The man she took will begrudgingly introduce the person who destroyed the marriage to his family. They will accept her and try their best, but she will never measure up. The story how they met will never be told. There is too much shame involved. The man I had indeed let me down and hurt me the most I ever was hurt when he became the man you took and the man I lost. Now he is the man she has, and she knows how easy it is to convince him to cheat, how much he lied to someone who was more important to him than she'll ever be. She will have to live in the fear of becoming me. Of becoming the one who will have everything taken away. The man you took is a man you can keep. Update: a crispy realization. I forgot that I'm pretty badass. How we only see certain dynamics after they are gone. I'm trying to organize my life after my dear SDBX destroyed my previous dream life to be with his AP. Today I had to move my sweet retired horse to his new home. I rented this truck, but nobody was able to help me move him. I realized this was something I would do with my husband. He would drive the truck and I would be along for the ride. I was so nervous if I could do this. I realized that I felt like I couldn't do this because my husband made me believe this. I don't mean this with malice. He did not do it on purpose, but now I see we were exaggerating these qualities in each other. See, in our relationship, I was the book smart one. I had a way with words and people. He was always in awe of my memory and ability to solve abstract puzzles or to analyze music, movies, or TV shows. He was the practical wizard. He could fix everything, and he saw simple solutions to complex problems. He was so handy and I was such a ditz it took me double the time to do the same things. I was so in awe of that, as if he could command the physical world to his will. I felt like we were both really flawed individuals but a perfect entity together. However, he expected me so much to struggle with things, or it took too much time, or it wasn't up to his standards, he would take everything away from me. It came to a point I didn't even try. Whenever I had a challenge, I passed it on. He would do it and we would laugh, imagining how bad I could have messed it up. The rare occasions I did try to do things, he would find problems with it. He would tell his friends and family about it, exaggerating the errors I made or how unholy long it took me, making it a show. Everybody would laugh and tell me how lucky I was I had my husband. I agreed. Today, facing this truck on the small roads, putting my horse on the truck, knowing I had no backup, I had to figure out the solutions, anticipate problems. It just dawned on me that I believed I was incapable just because he was so overconfident and capable. However, I pulled it off, and the place where I had to bring my horse were surprised and impressed how I did this by myself. They said, "You're a pretty badass lady." It just hit me like a brick. I'm pretty effing badass. I always was. I just forgot. I just got really pulled into this dynamic where his excellence had to be magnified by my limitations. Now I'm on my own. I just experienced that I got this. It is a small victory, because I lost so much. I miss him so bad and I keep hoping I wake up from this nightmare. But I got to rediscover this piece of me. I'm pretty badass. I will never forget again. Update. The worst thing is realizing that the person I found so special is just a simple boring cheater. I'm so disappointed. I thought so highly of him. I found him so intelligent, such an outstanding person. He had such a clear moral compass. I loved him so dearly. He was so special to me. Turns out he is like all other cheaters. I pretended for a while that he was sick, heavy in a dark depression. He would never do this to me. Not him. He cried and cried about how terrible he felt, but he had to choose for his own happiness. I couldn't possibly ask him to stay in a relationship that made him so unhappy. What kind of a monster would I be? He was doing the noble thing. See, our marriage was a lie from day one. He was setting me free to be happy with somebody who really loves me. Wow, what a hero, doing the difficult thing for the both of us. But I see now how he followed the cheater's standard operating procedure. Rewrite history to destroy the marriage in our memory. Remember that one time we fought? Yeah, that was the writing on the wall. Remember that time you didn't feel like having sex? Yeah, that was the start of not being satisfied. Remember that there were times you did not give me all your attention all the time? See, I was neglected. Face it, our marriage was over for years. Long before this happened, all the lines I got, they came straight out of the cheater's workbook. I love you, I'm not in love with you. I never loved you. I need to feel more for my partner. I was not unhappy but just not happy enough. She just opened my eyes. She is the one. I feel that this is special. Fact of the matter is, you had a great marriage that you took for granted. You are too lazy to do the emotional work for it. You are too selfish to prevent emotions for others. You are doing this to me because you don't care about anybody but yourself. What a freaking catch you turned out to be. Go wallow in your guilt. Go and try to tell all our friends and familia how terrible our marriage was. I already hear how you struggle as you can't find one credible thing wrong with me. You can't justify it and just keep saying Gusta is perfect. Replacing Gusta is impossible, but I don't feel for her anymore, and I never did, so go through life justifying it to yourself, to others, to your little AP, how what you are doing is right. How it is special, how true love prevails over a terrible marriage. But I know my love, I know you are just a boring garden variety cheater and a downward affair with a lesser person than me. Ironically, you are getting what you deserve. Bye, Felicia. Update. The difference in our moral compass. SDBX, who is leaving me for AP, has some dating advice for me. So, quick background. 2 months ago, my husband announced out of the blue that our marriage was over. 13-year relationship, he needed something more special. I got the famous line, "I love you but I'm not in love with you," and to no one's surprise here, he had an emotional affair, and she of course is this special creature that will make him happy forever. Sure. Now, a few years ago, I 34F had this boss 54M who was really handsome. He was my mentor and I respected him a lot. We went on business trips together and my female colleagues giggled about how lucky I was spending so much time with this super sexy man. TBH, I also gushed a bit because he was indeed super handsome and also very charismatic. However, I mostly admired and respected him. Today my husband thought it was cute to tell me to get back into contact with him now that I was single. It just blew my mind how he could be so cold and cavalier. 1. The boss is married too. He was my boss FFS3. He is the same age as my dad and I'm not much older as his daughter. 3. I'm not a sad little person like his AP, thinking it is cute or romantic to take a man who is married. Last but not least, my respect and admiration for this man came from the fact that he was a good boss and a stand-up guy. If he would have approached me in any way, or even be open to me flirting with him, he would lose all my respect in 1 second. It just makes me think that it takes a special kind of person to be comfortable with seducing and dating married men. If my previous boss would leave the woman he was married to for almost 30 years, who he raised children with, what kind of a-hole would I get, and why would he ever stay with me if his promises to this other woman did not stand a chance? I'm just so disgusted. Update. Although I was happy, I'm starting to see that I should have wanted more. 2.5 months ago, my husband up and left me what seemed to be a great marriage. 13 years he had an emotional affair and left me to be with his AP. I'm not delusional and I knew our marriage wasn't perfect, but I never got one peep out of him that he was unhappy. He started with saying, "I'm not unhappy with you, just not happy enough, and I could easily stay another 30 years, but I need something more special." I struggled so much with understanding why he did that. I did so much for him and my life revolved around making him happy. After reading a lot, I started to understand what he did and why. Now in this later stage of healing, I'm losing my rose-colored glasses and suddenly his super selfish behavior is less of a shock. First, you need to know that I did not grow up in a happy home. My dad humiliated and screamed at my mom daily. My mom behaved like a victim, wanted to have her kids side with her, telling them what a scumbag dad was. My dad cheated on her and left her. They were divorced for 4 years. In those years, I grew to respect my mom more for all that she was pulling off by herself. Sadly, they got back together. Even though it is a bit better, they still are in this cycle of victim and aggressor. So I never wanted to be in this type of relationship. When I met my husband STBXH, it was love at first sight. He was shy but witty and intelligent. He was such a sensitive, sweet man who would never raise his voice to me. We talked issues out in respectful ways. It was like a dream. He did a lot around the house, helped me with taking care of my horses. He respected me and supported me in my career. I did the same for him. We never had to ask each other for permission to do anything. We let each other free. We had total trust. We also did a lot of things together and spent quality time and had date nights. So how could I possibly ask for more? I had this perfect husband. So all I focused on was keeping him happy. But here it went wrong. He did not have to put any effort in, so he didn't. I organized the date nights, wrote him little love notes. I did buy him gifts for anniversaries, put pictures of him as my phone's lock screen, shared pictures of our wedding on Facebook. He never did anything like that. If you looked at his Facebook, it would look like it didn't exist. 3 experiences still hurt me to this day that illustrate that he was just a selfish a-hole having me cast for the role as wife just to tick the box. 1. We couldn't go on our honeymoon because of work until months later. We took 3 weeks off in October, but did not have any plans yet. We discussed a few times. Dreaming about Bali. Australia? One evening I told him that we needed to decide because the departure date was getting closer. He just matter-of-factly told me that the first week he would be going on holiday with his friends. I was floored. This one time he had to put me first. I never asked him for anything ever. I was so mad and he just said, "Sorry, I didn't know it was that big of a deal." Followed by, "I love you, don't leave me." And I forgave. 2. I had a small accident where I required stitches. I didn't know where he was and I wanted some moral support going to the hospital. I called him and said, "Could you come home please, I had an accident." His reaction was not, "Are you okay?" Or "What happened?" No, it was, "Oh, for duck's sake, how is this ducking possible? Yeah, I'm a bit accident prone, but not that I need stitches or his help that often." He came home, softened his tone, and I was just so happy to have some support I forgot it immediately. But the scar reminds me of what an a-shoal he could be. 3. He would love to take credit for my accomplishments. A few weeks before he broke the news he was effing up to F his AP, I got a promotion and I negotiated a raise. I discussed my approach with him, showed him my email and asked for his advice, like would I word it differently, etc. A friend came over and I enthusiastically told him about my promotion. He butted in with, "Yeah, thanks to me. Without me she wouldn't have had a raise." I told her to get it on email because otherwise they would screw her over again. The way he said it with such disdain, as if I was a bumbling fool without him. I felt so embarrassed. I replied it in comments as well, but a Rick and Morty episode got me in the feels. "You don't miss me, you miss the old me, the person who loved you so much you didn't have to love them back." I loved him so much, I let him get away with all this crap. Telling myself he was just not the romantic type. That this was the price I was paying for having a husband that is 99% perfect for me. I didn't have to pay any price to be with my husband, I was the prize. I just wish I knew that before I had to pay the ultimate price for not respecting myself enough. Him losing respect for me. Never again. Raised fist. Update. Just a thought. People tell me they were shocked that he cheated on me because they always thought he wasn't good enough for me, but maybe that played into the cheating. So now all my friends and family know about my STVXH infidelity. They feel free to tell me what they always thought about him. It is a bit shocking that he wasn't as loved as I assumed he was. Some of my best friends thought he was arrogant and took me for granted. They always thought I could do better. But these were not the things they would tell me because I was happily married. In our relationship, he did sometimes tell me that he was a bit intimidated with the progress I made with my career. That I was too smart for him. I told him I never felt that way. And I never did. Sometimes I dressed up for an important meeting. He would go, "Geez, can you fight off your male co-workers looking like that? You don't have an affair, right?" I always thought it was funny. Just for good measure, instead really classy. Especially when I see his AP, I can't understand why he would leave me for her. But this is normal, I hear. And I wonder if he didn't feel like he did not deserve me. Apparently a lot of female friends especially never understood what I saw in him. Even though I treated him like an equal. Even though I was madly in love 13 years later. Maybe he started to believe it. That might explain in a part why he chose this dumb little girlie. Who probably is super impressed with him. Adores the ground he walks on. Before D-Day I told him I was concerned with the time he spent with his co-worker. Now his AP, he told me, her? Wow, no, she is too immature and she is no competition for you. Geez, you think I stooped to that level? Well, here we are. Stooped to that level. Now I feel superior in every decking way to him. I deleted his pictures out of my favorite folder. And I thought, he is not even as hot as I remembered. He is pissed off that I'm fully no contact, and if I need anything I send him formal mails. I guess I became the coworker. Just a thought. Update. You know what? Forget being happy is the best revenge. Just forget revenge. We all heard being happy is the best revenge. I understand its appeal, but revenge is in the eye of the other. Revenge means you care. Revenge takes up space in your mind. Plotting, dreaming, hoping. Revenge often disappoints. Because no acceptable revenge plot comes close to what has been done to us, and those plots who do even the score are far beneath us. We are the better person. Don't let your quest for revenge take that away from you. We were reliable, trustworthy people who trusted. We are not at fault. Not yesterday, not now, not ever. Just live your best life for you. Just ask yourself, if money wasn't an issue, what would I do? If I had just 1 week to live, what would I do? You see that image of a free you and you try to get as close as you can to that vision. You take this insurmountable pain that was so unjustly done to you and you grow from it. You learn and you will be reborn. You live that life you deserve, for you. Because of you. Thanks to you, you were smacked down by undeserving hands. Don't let it corrupt your soul. Stand tall and be proud. Nobody will keep you down, especially not those whose morals falter at the smallest temptation. Revenge is for broken people. We are scarred, battered, and bruised. Our knees might be scraped from begging, our fingers raw from holding on, or our feet might hurt from kicking the curbs and walking away. No matter how we reacted to the betrayal, we are not broken. Revenge is for broken people, so is cheating. We are not broken. Update. Please stop telling me how I could have saved my marriage. Some women look wide-eyed and panicked when I tell them how my husband just up and left for his AP. Especially those who knew us freak out to this news. They know it could happen to them and they can't handle that. Instead of supporting me, they want to manage their fear through me. Finding where I went wrong. Where I failed to save the marriage. It is so painful to go through all their advice and debunk how it wouldn't have helped. You should have kicked AP to the curb when she was hanging with your husband in your house while you were gone. They would just call me an insecure, unreasonable persons. I know because I did kick her out in the end. That is exactly what happened. You should have listened to him more. We had weekly chats about our hopes and dreams. I asked him about his happiness about us on many occasions. The answer was always, I am happy we are perfect. You should have made him cut contact with AP. I'm not my husband's boss. I asked him at some point to stop, and I started to get annoyed when he would text people when we were together. He just started to stay up way past my bedtime because he was not tired, so he could be alone texting her all night long. You should have been more active in bed. Show him what he would be missing. I tried. He called me pathetic and also asked me not to tell his dear AP about the time we had post D-Day. You shouldn't have let him go that easily. I didn't. I talked for hours with him. Let him tell me the most excruciating, painful BS without flinching and saying thank you for your honesty. I wanted therapy. I wanted trial separation. I was happy to stand by his side. He just went, I want a divorce yesterday. I was only injuring myself. You should have not signed the divorce. Why? What would have changed? He told me on many occasions that he did not care about the legal side of it, and he never did. It wouldn't have stopped him either way. Long story short, I can't have a marriage by myself. There is nothing, short of tying him down, that I could have done to keep him in the marriage. Also, how masochistic is it to try and keep someone who says you are not special enough? You are just their best friend? You are not what they want. I was done fighting. I was done getting more hurt and him feeling more and more special, having two women fighting over him. Nah, I got better things to do. Update. I thought other women were demanding for their expectations towards their husband. Turns out my bar was just so low. I always considered myself the cool wife. I would never make my husband do anything. He could follow his dreams. Hang out with friends. I never expected much. Just that he loved me and was there for me. Other wives complained about the basic gifts they got for their birthday, while I was already happy if my husband remembered mine. I thought those wives were high maintenance. I thought those things didn't matter. He told me he loved me every day. Helped me through school. Did stuff around the house. Helped me out with my horses. He made sweet love to me. Held me as I slept. I thought I had it all. Point is, he never gave a crap about me. He just only loved himself. He never did anything extra for me. I was just something he managed. I was cast in a role. The reason why this marriage worked for so long is because I had so much to give. Once I had nothing more. When my best became his baseline, I got replaced. I have a date this week and it hit me just how low my bar is. My date was texting me about what I would like to drink and eat when we watch our movie. Asking me about my favorite wine, etc. My initial thought was, wow, how sweet, he is doing so much for me. Then it hit me. No, it is basic human decency. My bar was so low, I get wowed by a decent host? It just showed how little I expected and how low I valued myself. I just gave and felt uncomfortable with getting, like I'm not worthy. He made every little thing he did for me feel big. All the awesome things I did felt small. Not enough. Never again will I put myself so low on the priority list. No longer will I be pushed aside. For the next man who will have the pleasure to be my partner will still get a loving, giving partner who will let him be free. But I will come with a set of demands now. Another post-mortem of my marriage that I believe to be so perfect. And now the blinders are off. Hard to believe that if he didn't cheat and ducked off, I would have believed that dream until the day I died blissfully unaware and happy with my awesome husband. Yep, I'm out of the matrix alright. Update, triggered again by a Facebook dating chat. Guys was obviously looking for exit affair, and I wonder if X talked about me like that. So basically I have been dealing with this infidelity and abandonment. The last weeks I struggle again with blaming myself. It was triggered by a coffee cup left in the bathroom and me remembering I did this as well, and my husband used to tease me about it. I just went, if you picked your coffee cups up he wouldn't have left you. The thing is, it took me a lot of work to realize my ex would have cheated on me even if I was the most perfect woman in the world. He needs external validation, was depressed and just got intoxicated with his coworker. So I have a clear regression in my progress. Cue Facebook dating chat. Saw a guy change the thing he was looking for to chat friendship. I asked him about it and he said he was in a relationship and that he was unhappy. Went off how bad his wife was and how he just needed a friend. It just went red in front of my eyes. Told him if he needed friends, why did they have to be female? I said he was looking for an emotional affair to work up the courage to leave. He said it was because of their house and there was no way to split up. I just told him what happened to me and that he needs to talk with his wife. Open and honest, and ask themselves if being unhappy is worth their house. I also said I will not be part of this, and then I blocked him. I just had a good little cry. Was this how X talked to AP about me? Does that woman know how bad he is talking about her? Does she know he is so unhappy? Or will she also have this out of left field experience once this guy finds a woman desperate enough to convince him to leave? What would have happened if AP said the same things as me? If she was somewhat more decent? Because I realized something, I would never want to be that woman. The one who they monkey branch to. The exit affair. I don't want a man fresh out of a relationship. I want him to be healed and a happy single. It just triggered me on what type of woman AP must be, and it ain't pretty. Update, 7 months in and I find myself having a panic attack in the shop, realizing I am going to cook for someone the first time since D-Day. 7 months ago my ex left to be with his AP. There was nothing wrong with me as a wife, I just wasn't special enough and he was unhappy. His AP was the true love that will make him happy forever. If that sounds like typical cheater talk, it is. So yesterday I had a date with my FWB. I never thought I would say that. Honestly, I would never think I would even consider time outside a committed relationship, but then again, I never thought my husband would F off for the first girl who would ever go for him, so here we are. I'm just trying to survive the crushing loneliness that comes with divorce in a goddamn pandemic. Managing the ever-blurring lines in a relationship that has no future as a default setting. I was going to cook for him. I was doing the shopping and it just hit me. I didn't cook for anyone in 7 months. I was just bawling my eyes out while holding green asparagus. It just all came rushing back. The talks in the kitchen, having a glass of wine, grabbing each other's ass, laughing at what our day brought. It just hurt so much that what my ex deemed not special enough feels so effing magical to me now. When I was cooking for the FWB, I had to fight them back again. It just felt so familiar but also strangely wrong. I know I tend to overthink, but it just hits me wrong sometimes. How could something so precious not be enough? Well, silver lining, the time was the best I had in a very long while, so there's that. But I would trade all those orgasms to just wake up in my marriage again. Update: even 7 months post D-Day, I'm still obsessed with not snooping. Those who did, is it better or worse? So my ex had an emotional affair and left me for her. I think it was about 3 months, I'm not sure. I always had access to my ex's phone. I knew his code and he knew mine. I never snooped even when I knew that he and the coworker were taking the chatting way too far. I didn't want to break his trust. I know how that sounds now. I talked to his brother, who sadly went through the exact same thing as I did. We cried together about how terrible it all was. He found all communication and kept it. He told me that even though it hurt, it helped him get over her, as he saw how cruel she really was and how much she already lied to her new beau. I never did it, and I keep having dreams about all the times I had his phone in hand. I keep wishing I did it. I keep inventing the stuff that would be in there. I don't obsess about it when I'm awake. But those dreams keep coming. It is like I want to see how big of on a hole he and AP actually were. For those who saw it all, do you wish you didn't, or was it a help in your grieving process? Update: my dad is a cheater. Yeah, he cheated once, but his mindset is that of a cheater. I hope it helps me recognize it in the future. My ex left me 7 months ago for his AP. I really never saw it coming and I was broken. It has been a journey into healing, but also learning from my mistakes and never give myself to a potential cheater. My dad cheated on my mom when I was 7. They were divorced, but he came crawling back 2 years later and my mother took him back. He never cheated again as far as we know, but I realized he still has the mentality. All it will take is a young, dumb, and desperate enough girl to come after him, and he will do it again. My dad is faithful because lack of options. My ex was as well, and I mistook it for being faithful. All it took was one desperate enough girl, and he left. I was triggered by a date I had with a guy who was an AP. I realized that the reasons he gave me for making that okay were the same BS reasons my ex gave me. I discussed this morning with my dad, and he really showed me that cheaters have a certain baseline mindset. So I think I cracked the code to finding them, even if they have never cheated before. This is the baseline: emotions are truth, you should never deny yourself. Being in love is the sanctification of all the evil you do. These are the people who tell you, if you are in love with someone else, you leave instead of cheat equals. This sounds right, but there is a major issue with this thinking. What about the existing relationship? It wasn't bad enough to leave when you didn't have a backup? So it is okay to just upgrade? It shows a level of selfishness. The hearth wants what is wants. It doesn't matter how many people get destroyed for me to get what I want. The reality of long-term relationships: you will have feelings for others. The world is full of sexy people who would be into you. You need to nip those feelings in the bud. In my case, I understood these feelings were just a moment. I played the scenario in my head, breaking my husband's hearth, Starting a life with a new guy and finding myself in the same situation within a few years, trapping myself and always starting and stopping, never building something real. Having a future, to me it is like getting a puppy. Loving that youthful silly dog. With the oversized paws and the bald belly. But once the puppy grows up, you start seeing other puppies and think, wow, they make me feel so much. My own dog is not that cute anymore. I am sorry, I am out of love with my dog. I am leaving my dog and getting a new puppy. Rinse and repeat. When it comes to dating, I want people who agree that relationships are work. That commitment is not feeding those feelings, understanding that puppy love is addictive but in the end just a phase, and also for that new partner it will die eventually. If you're live with an eye on the door. What if I could do better? You are always at risk. Find people who are willing to be grateful with what they have. Understand that there are so many people they could have so great connections with, but that they choose that one person to build their future on. There is only one good reason to end a relationship. You are unhappy, it is not working, go. Other people have no place in that process. If you think leaving for another is okay, you are selfish. You are either unwilling to be alone and use people as placeholder, major DCK move, or you are addicted to that puppy love. So ask all your dates if they think leaving for being in love is okay. They will show you their thinking. Good luck. Update. Everything he is telling you, dear AP, he has said before, only back then there was no proof it was a lie. My ex left me for a coworker he had an EA with for like 2 months. It has been a while now and I am doing okay. I do get stuck on some things. Like him pretending AP is the best thing ever. The love of his life. I know it is cheater mo, but I want to have the truth out in the void that is Reddit, so I won't forget. I was triggered by my ex Sil. She told me that for all I know AP and my ex have a better connection and compatibility than we did. I don't know why she thought that was a comforting thing to say. I just silently decided in that moment I don't want her in my life anymore. She left her husband for another man a few years back, only to go back to him and claim to be happily married, but had some emotional affairs along the way. So she is the worst friend to have and she is out. It struck me that everything he is saying about her and to her, although that last one is more an assumption he said to or about me. 13 years ago he introduced me to his parents. They fell in love with me right away. His dad and I had an instant connection and I was very close with him. He cried his eyeballs out when all the news broke. His mom proudly proclaimed, I always knew that the first girl my son brings home is going to be his true love. She told me how I changed him for the better. From a gloomy, closed-off person to a more open and happy person. His brothers and sisters told me that he lighted up, bloomed, and I improved their connection with him, facilitating conversation and making him feel safe to open up to them. He told me all his deepest and darkest thoughts and fears. I supported him. Made him go out of his comfort zone. He called me his best friend, his everything. He said he kept all my love letters because he would never let me forget how much I loved him and I could never leave him. I promised him I never would and I meant it. Life happened, but he never neglected to tell me how much he loved me. How we were perfect for each other. Our personalities were different in all the right ways. I also felt like our strengths covered each other's weaknesses. We would have time and he would tell me that our bodies were made for each other. Soulmates, forever, him and me, even the weeks before D-Day. I would wake up with him watching me sleep, looking lovingly into my eyes and telling me I'm cute, that he loved me, that I made him happy. He couldn't believe we were husband and wife. He proudly proclaimed we would make it through anything. Half a year before this happened to me, his older brother was left by his wife of 25 years for an ex she had when she was like 17. She proclaimed how that ex was the love of her life and my bill was terrible. She never loved him and she was unhappy for years. We discussed it and my ex said she was delusional, weak, stupid. And 6 months later he does the exact same thing. I imagine him looking to her lovingly, telling her she is the one. She is perfect in every way and he asks her to never leave him. How they are made for each other. She will gobble it up, but I wonder if it ever pops in her mind that he told me everything before. He made these promises and he did not keep them. She knows exactly how little it took to take him away. It will forever baffle me that a person wants a married man. You are helping him break vows you want him to keep to you? You really think you are that special? Probably he can redo our relationship with her. As long as no other sad little person comes for him, he will play the same show with her. 10 years, who knows, maybe until the end of his life. People will forget me, they will forget how wonderful the beginning was. They will start to believe that AP and my ex were the better connection, meant to be, true love, yada yada. I will never forget how he felt all that for me and threw it away. I did not have proof he was a liar or incapable to truly and deeply love. She, however, had all the proof she needs. She chose to ignore it. Maybe one day she will pay the price, maybe she can live the lie until they die. The fact is, she had proof it is a lie. I did not. For those of you who think that maybe I am petty and AP is the best thing ever and I just have to let my ex be happy with a better connection, I like to say this: better murdered great. There is always better or something that looks better from the outside. I have no illusions that there are men out there I could be just as happy with. The fact is, we chose each other. When you do that, you work to make that person the best connection, you stop looking for others, and you do all you can that keep that flame alive. He threw a bucket of ice water over our fire and gasoline on their spark and is not pretending we never had a bonfire. Update: how do I stop feeling like the loser? Rationally I know, but emotionally I still struggle with AP1, my husband. I was in my relationship for 13 years. For me it felt happy. We had fun. Inside jokes, heart-to-heart talks. If I would describe the perfect relationship, it would have been that, although in hindsight I have learned it was one-sided and I ignored some stuff. Anyway, in the summer of 2020 he came out of left field with, "I am unhappy, I never loved you, I need a divorce." Of course, there was a friend that by accident completely unexpectedly became the true love of his life, EA of 2 to 3 months. Back then I did not know about EAs and I just thought it was a friendship going too far and that we would be able to survive this. He would snap out of it and work for us. But nope. So today he is trying to put her in my spot with friends and family, and she is trying really hard to be accepted by them as fast as possible. They play this whole "we did not have an affair, the relation started from a friendship." Too bad for them. His sisters know because I called them crying in the months leading up to it. I told them I saw some messages of her that really showed her flirting with him hard. How she would show up when I was gone. How she would openly flirt with him. Show up in skimpy outfits and rolled her eyes if she saw me come home. I asked them for help and how to stop this. So they all know their story is bullshit. I was going through Facebook and I saw her being suggested to me as a friend because one of our mutual friends added her. I never thought to block her. But it just hit me like a bomb again. There is one silver lining. There was just one shared friend. I know she asked all my ex-in-laws on Facebook very early on in the process. They told me it looks like none of them accepted yet. It gives me some rest that they do have some issues with this. That they do care. Anyway, seeing her picture just smacked me in the face so hard. I just can't help thinking about how she probably thinks she won him from me. When it started I thought he would never leave me for that. He told me that much himself. He told me that she was childish, shallow. Not on the same level as us. But here we are. It brings me back to the time she rolled her eyes at me, laughed falsely, fake smiled at me, probably thinking I am stealing your man, and she did. So in her mind she is victorious. Better than me. Rationally I know he is not a prize as he threw away what we had on a whim. I know she isn't better than me even as she is more beautiful. Depends who you ask. I also know that she will be under a lot of pressure because I was loved very much and very deeply. His brothers and sisters have expressed they want to keep me in their lives. I will see if I can handle it in the long run. I am an authentic person. I have moral standards and will never do what she did. I like to add to people's lives and make it better. I am funny and have been the person who animated and facilitated fun conversations and times. I am a better person than her and she will feel like a major downgrade for anybody involved. But in the end, if she remains his GF for long times, they will accept her. Start liking her. I know it is normal. However, I don't know if it will ever stop hurting. Rationally, I know he is in my past and I should stop caring for either of them. But I can have these emotional moments where I think, here I am 35, single, living with my parents. I am a failure, she is the winner. Sorry for the rant. Infidelity is such a murder on your mental health. It can bite you in your ass when you least expect it. 10 months now. I have good days and bad. Today was bad. Also, goddamn Facebook, I hate you. Edit, block them both on FB and IG. The dumb part is that you have to go to their profile to block them. His IG is still cars, so she isn't allowed on there either. I saw her tagline on IG, big hopes, big dreams, big heart. I think if she replaces big with breaks it would be more accurate. Okay, going out of petty mode now. Update, when my ex-husband left for his AP, I wanted to die because I lost the love of my life. Little by little I learned he was not the best thing to happen to me. The AP taking him was. TW, suicidal thoughts. August 2020 is sat in my old timer in my closed garage. I was ready to take my own life. The man I loved fully and dearly left me. Not because he was unhappy, but he wasn't happy enough. I was perfect but not special enough. His coworker made him feel alive and made him realize how unhappy he was all these years. I was so focused on making him happy, how could I fail? How could I have missed his unhappiness? Nobody would ever love me, not like him. I was not special, I was fat, my personality and intelligence were not attractive. A woman who I rated far inferior to me was my husband's love of his life. I was below her. I was nothing, I could never be happy again and I wanted the pain to stop. Some ideas held me back from doing it. My life insurance would give my ex and his true love quite the nest egg. My death would make his life even better. He would have his true love, the dog, and 250,000 euro to start their life. I would no longer be in his way. I imagined him being so happy I died. I decided to wait until I could change the policy. I also thought about my parents. Killing myself with the old-timer they gifted me felt cruel. Who would take care of my horses? He wouldn't make sure they would be okay. What if it took a week to find me? They would go hungry. It are flimsy things, but they kept me here. This time is far behind me now. In the meantime, I had so many aha moments. I gave my all to a person who eroded my self-esteem to keep me under control. I'm generally a happy person and also I actually really like myself. Being from under his influence, I have really learned to love myself hard. I am ashamed now that I was ready to destroy myself for this person. I am enough. Being single is not a failure and I am pretty awesome. Dating and seeing myself through other eyes than those of my ex for 13 years taught me more about the things he did to me. I lost around 40 pounds. I feel super hot. My ex made me feel fat, but when I lost weight he would tell me I got too skinny and he was not attracted to that. I was the cool wife and he told me how he loved me for letting him do whatever he wanted. I wasn't a cool wife, I was his doormat. He organized a boys' trip during our honeymoon. He never celebrated anything. He made me throw barbecues and parties for his friends and family, but made issues about my friends or family coming over. We went to his family for every Christmas. My family gave a big party once and he made me go alone because he did not want me sit at his family. It is just the tip of the whole iceberg. I was on a date this week and my hair tie broke. I did not have a replacement and had to wear my hair down. My date told me I looked great with my hair down. He asked me why I never wear it like that. I realized that the reason was, my ex told me my face looked fat and my neck short if I let my hair down. I keep finding these habits I still have because of him. I would have lived my life adoring and looking up to my husband. Feeling so lucky a man like him could love a woman like me. I would never realized it was miserable and one-sided. I would have never given up and I would have forgiven the EA. I'm truly blessed the affair fog was thick enough for him to go for the AP. That he couldn't wait to divorce, that he hurt me as bad as he did. I got out this and I know I am not there yet, but I know I will be better on the other side. I have grown so much. I was always seen as a strong woman. I thought my power came from my husband's love. I was powerful despite him. Minus this energy leech and ball of pure negativity, I can only become more awesome. I never thought I would say this, I never thought I could survive. But I did and I will thrive. Bye Felix. Update, saw my cheating ex, we passed each other in the car. His face was priceless. So 11 months ago my then husband left me for an AP. They had an emotional affair. It was textbook ilganawi. Confusing infatuation with love and comparing a 13-year mature relationship with the limerence of an affair. During that time I met a man I didn't know. He would become cold as ice. Telling me how unhappy he was for years. How he never loved me. That I was perfect but he deserved someone more special. Other days he would be a crying mess, hanging on to me for dear life. Looking at me as if I was just the most precious thing he was losing. He pulled a face then, that I will never forget. It was like my old husband was in there watching this all but unable to help me or to change anything. He would well up, and it would be this combination of sadness, regret and shame. All it ever did was give me this unique feeling that I call hateful disappointment. I hate how much he disappointed me. How little he did to save us. I know AP came for him hard but all he had to do was say no. That is it. But he kept feeding it until he was in so deep he couldn't go back. So I am no contact for like 8 months, have not seen him. All I pick up is that he is bringing AP everywhere and they try to explain they did not have an affair but she helped him through his terrible divorce. It was over within a month so. Yeah, terrible. People tell me she is a bore and a basic B. I know that. I don't care. I keep joking she must be looking really pale, as she can't get from under my shadow. Anyway, I heard he was happy with AP. He is telling the story of how she showed him what real love is and how happy he is. She is the one. She gets him, he never felt this way. Fun fact, he said all this before about me. Anyway, I have been losing weight, and I look hot AF. I get a lot of compliments that I look radiant. I was driving and as per usually I was singing and smiling in my car. Now I like cars, and I saw a very pretty one from the brand my ex works for. It pulled my attention. I never look at other drivers but I was looking at the car. It was my ex driving it and I only noticed because he startled and that made me look at the driver. There it was again. That sad teary eyes face. Like the love of my life is trapped in the body of an incredible a hole bound to make it work with a woman so far below me it is ridiculous. I was too slow to respond. So he only saw me smiling? Like always, like the person I always was. Happy-go-lucky and full of life. I had the same feeling only now it is a bit muted. I just think, you sad man. What have you done? What have you won? I hope she is worth it. But I know she's not. More importantly, I know he isn't worth it. Bye Felix. Update, so all the mean things he said to me when he was leaving me for his affair turns out to be BS? Not surprised and not disappointed. Firmly in the roll eyes kind of mood. So almost 12 months ago my ex-husband of 13 years came out of nowhere saying he was unhappy forever. He never loved me and married me against his will. He denied having an affair but the feelings he had for his coworker did wake him up to what true love is. The idea that an emotional affair is still an affair was total nonsense to him, and to this day he and Schmoopy tell their love story about how they fell in love while she helped him through this terrible divorce from his terrible wife. Fun fact. He has a lot of brothers and sisters and they all love me to pieces. The terrible wife story didn't stick because they knew me. It slowly turned into she is perfect but not the true love for me. Let's just pretend he never said that I was all day, every day for 13 years up until the moment he traded me in like a baseball card. On his way out, he did not neglect to say some things that haunted me for a long time. 1. I always wanted kids, but not with you. For over 5 years I was talking about kids, and he kept saying, not now. Here I am, a 35-year-old, seeing that dream destroyed. If he knew it so long, why the hell didn't he leave me then? However, now I hear he firmly went to the stance, I never want kids. He has communicated it to his family, what he never did when with me, making everybody think I was the child-free one. So what was that agonizing mean sentence for? 2. I am focused on material things, because you leave me empty and unhappy. My ex was always obsessed with status. Bigger house, bigger cars, always right upon the limits of our budgets. I accommodated. 90% of what I made went into keeping him happy and into his lifestyle. So his story was that now he is schmoopy. His true love, he could be happy with a simpler life. Well, Mr. bought the Porsche he wanted. One we simply could not afford. We were renting a house. I wanted to save up for a down payment, and he wanted to blow 100,000 on a car with almost no savings in the bank. While both driving company cars? Who does that? So schmoopy did not satisfy his hunger IQs? 3. You are a bore in the bedroom. Admit it. Well, sir, how the tables have turned. I have some new experiences now, and you were the bore. I am rocking my current date his world, and boy does he rock mine. He calls me a S-time goddess. My ex thought rubbing my clit quickly meant that I was good to go. Like it was a light switch. He hated kissing, he was not passionate, and if I did not get turned on fast enough, he got angry and was over it. Let schmoopy enjoy your lazy, unimaginative ass. So all he said going out the door that almost left me destroyed was utter BS. Never trust a word out of cheaters' face holes. That is the lesson for today. Just discard every little thing they say. Update. Looking back, knowing what we know now, they never were good partners, were they? The days leading up to D-Day, being him telling me he is in love with AP, never loved me and wanted a divorce, I called my sister-in-law. I was in tears. His friendship with his coworker made me so uncomfortable, but he kept telling me I was pathetic, insecure, and sexist because male friends were okay, right? She said to me, I know of no more loyal men than my brother, and it is so obvious he loved you. We recently saw each other again, and she told me she realized he is incapable of loving. Now he is with schmoopy. It has become painfully obvious, as now there are 2 empty people in this relationship. She is obsessed with a PR. Being accepted as my replacement and forcing herself to be in my place. She is making a big deal about people hanging with me and wants all traces of me erased. Now tell me, if the story was real, that you both were just true love and I was collateral damage, why all the hatred towards me? If she is so special that I pale in her blazing aura of perfectness, why see me as such a threat? She knows what I have learned the hard way. He is a terrible partner. PR is all she has and all she ever will have. My ex is incapable of love, and she knows. If he was, he would have never left me for her. He would have never let her pursue him like that. I have realized that I blinded myself and others. My love was so big, authentic, and beautiful. It was distracting everybody from the empty shell my ex is. I realized what I felt was not his love, but my own love reflected back to me. I was always auditioning to remain his wife. Tried to be perfect every second of the day, because something in me always knew that it wouldn't take a lot to lose him. I am dating this wonderful man now. I am not sure if it will work out, but even if it doesn't, he has shown me what it feels like. My ex picked me up at the airport after I was away for 3 months for school at the time. He hugged me and said he missed me. I believed him back then, but in hindsight the hug felt like nothing. Last week my date, who hadn't seen me for 2 weeks, held me and said he missed me. And I felt it. I felt it. My body felt missed. Being loved is more than being told you are loved. It is feeling it and knowing it in your bones that the words match the actions. I'm so sad I wasted so many years on a man who was always capable of doing this. Who never truly appreciated the immense love I gave him. When it first happened, I was like, how could this perfect man do this to me? Now I learned his perfection was an act. His loving husband persona was a performance of a lifetime. Those cheating spouses, they were never good partners, were they? Update, got an opportunity to be petty, and I couldn't resist. Guess I am not yet at full May level. 13 years ago I joined a old-timer group cars. We did meetings and I found myself taken up in a close-knit group of male friends. I was the only woman and the largest part of that group was hoping to woo me. I just liked one guy. The guy I would eventually marry and who cheated and left me. When him and I were official, a lot of those guys asked me why I would pick my ex. They didn't understand why I would choose him. I wish I didn't in hindsight. Over the years I got invited less and less and my ex kinda took issue with me going on the group's hangout because it was all guys. Before it never was an issue, but I got pigeonholed into the wife slot and was not welcome at guy weekends. So I lost touch with those guys. This week is their annual weekend. I forgot about it until suddenly I got texts from one of them saying how sorry he was we did not make it and that we always were the couple they believed would grow old together. He said he hoped we both could find happiness. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I told him I knew it sounded very bitter of me, but that I wanted him to know the truth. That we didn't just break up, but that my ex is a cheating a hole and that I hoped very much that they would fall on their lying, betraying faces. That I am still the same person as always and I did nothing to deserve this. I wish I didn't do that. I wish I could just go. Yeah, sure, thanks for reaching out. But the idea, hey, is playing the smallest fiddle and telling the story about how our marriage was death and Schmoopy just saved him. It just boils my blood. He is a garden variety cheater, thinking the grass is greener, going to find out it is not. I try not to think about it, and if I don't, I feel nothing about him. But in these moments I just feel the hate. I just wish him the worst. I hope he can get cheated on. That he can feel what I did. But he can't. Because to be gutted like I was, you need to be able to love, and he can't. I hope I can ever get to a point I can just shrug about him. I want to stop caring. I want to stop hating. But deep down I still want the karma. Update, got very angry at an infidelity story at work. I feel so lonely. Am I the only one who cares? The anger is still very easily triggered. So a male colleague who has been a good friend the past months was talking about a girlfriend of his. She was cheated in the past and came crying to him that she kissed a married coworker and was in love with him. She became an AP. My colleague wanted me to feel sympathy for her. How terrible it must feel as former BS to find yourself in the AP role. I had no sympathy. I told him she had to stop the in love BS. I went on a rant, got red in the face and almost found myself in something like a trance after he said, "You can't help falling in love." Yes, you can. You can help who you pursue and what you feed. Men who are married are not possible partners for me. I might like them, I let it go right away. He is a no. So I don't flirt. I don't progress the relationship further. I keep it at the level that it was. Coworker friend. You can't tell me a kiss came out of nowhere. You flirted, vetted, got yourself in a situation where you could kiss. Did you ever consider kissing a sexy stranger in an elevator? No. Because you don't know if that is wanted. So when a kiss comes, enough has been said and done so people know they want each other. Now for the in love item. There is no such thing as true love. People choose to be with each other and build a partnership. Are there more viable partners? You bet your bottom dollar. Can you fall in love with multiple people? Yeah, sure. But I find it so infuriatingly selfish to say, I am in love, I am going to pursue it no matter what the cost. I never felt this way, this must be pursued. No. Stop putting energy in it and open your eyes to free people. This is already the justification engine in action. You are already talking yourself into an affair. So what if a friend pursues the colleague? He is going to leave his wife, break that family, hurt so many people who love his wife, all the mess and heartbreak that comes with divorce. For what? A relationship different from what you had but with its own faults and with a very ugly start? Congrats! You are back to square one with a wake of broken people behind you. Awesome! So what if you fall in love again? What is stopping you now? What is stopping people from endlessly cycling? They tell themselves, no, this is special, this is different. Is it? Is it really? Are you more special than a spouse they build a life with for plus 10 years? Honestly? The odds are you are just as special or maybe even less. So honey, if he doesn't stay with Miss plus 10 years, he probably won't stay with you. Relationships are work and a commitment. You stick with it, and if it is not working, you end it. But don't go partner hopping and don't go poaching other people's partners. You know the fact they are poachable should make them undesirable. We don't go stealing dogs from other people's gardens because we fell in love with them. We also don't dump our current dog because the neighbor's dog is cuter. There is always cuter. I hate that this girl turned AP, she knows what it is like. How can she be so dumb? I don't know her personally, but I wanted to shake her. I said that she deserved to be cheated on if she can be so goddamn careless, and she could rot in hell with all other cheaters and APs. I am usually not that mean. I was just super triggered by the chill way cheating and convincing a husband to leave his wife was talked about. Like it is totally normal. Like a viable way to find a partner. It has been a long time since I got so triggered. It has been a long time since I spoke to so many people. It is going to happen more and I will have to deal with it. My anger is still a problem. Update: the 9 reasons why marriage is born out of an affair struggle. Maybe it is petty, but this cheered me up. So my ex left me for an affair a year ago. They are in full honeymoon phase, living together and being happy. I just found out that the guy I was dating was still on Tinder after having the relationship talk and saying we would figure out how to move forward together. I feel broken and betrayed. Somebody sent me an article about the 9 defects of a relationship that started as an affair. Whatever I am dealing with in my dating life, at least I don't have to face this crap. It makes me feel good that those cheaters won't have it as easy breezy as it looks. You can read the 9 defects separately, but what struck me was something I already kind of thought about. COVID has done them a favor. They could live in this bubble protected from the world. Them against everybody. Fully in infatuation bliss, but soon they will have to come into reality. People who are not so much on board. Family and friends who won't just treat her the same as me, and they can't because she is not as fun as me. Their start is not as romantic as ours was, and there will be times when the family talks about the past. I was part of it, not them. Once the infatuation fades and the reality sets in, she has to be worth it. Because she was a single girl who did not have to give up anything for him. He had to give up a person who was there for him, loved him, was loved by his whole family. It was easy to make me the bad guy. Twist everything I did onto something bad or sad or terrible. But the big bad is gone. Now they have to rely on each other. Her bar is pretty high, and she is pretty unimpressive. I need to step up for myself. I need to find someone worthy and let them work for me. I am totally worth it. It is hard, but it is just that. I don't have to be better than anyone. I don't have to tiptoe about how we met. There is no guilt. I am no cheater or homewrecker. I can be me. I am not haunted by the ghost of the betrayed spouse that everybody loved. So yes, I am not doing great. Yes, I am struggling. But it is somewhat of a relief that their perfect little life will also have challenges. They might make it. They might not. It doesn't matter, it matters that it will be a challenge. Just like my life is thanks to them. Update: it is not karma, it is super petty of me, but he gave me quite a giggle. AP had one thing on me, she was skinnier. Emphasizing was, not body shaming anybody. But this matters because my weight has played a big role in my life, and my ex-husband who left for AP pushed the dagger in hard when he left, leaving me obsessed with my weight. So I never was fat. Max, a size 14 curvy girl with really nice proportions. My girlfriends were all size 6 and 4, so I was the fat one. I was never hit on by men. They went for my girlfriends. When I met my ex-husband, I was 20 years old, and I did have some short relationships, but that was all. My ex fell for me right away. He liked curvy girls. He made me feel great, and my self-esteem grew. For the next 13 years I felt good about myself. Even if I didn't, my husband loved me, so everything was okay. Enter AP in March 2020. She has the personality of a cardboard box, but she looked great. She showed up in skimpy outfits showing her thin tanned legs. I was not intimidated by her because husband likes them curvy, and I never believed he could fall for such a hollow person. My world was shattered because in July 2020 he professed she was his true love and I was perfect, but he deserved someone more special. Which is paradoxically that simple-minded fangirl AP. I guess when you had perfection for 13 years, her sorry ass looks special to you? Along with a plethora of harmful, entitled and plain gross things he said and did before leaving was implying my weight played a role. He said, "I know people think I left because you are fat." My parents asked me that question. They did not BTW, but I wanted you to know that the fact you are fat never mattered to me. Again, I was never fat. At time he left I was a size 10. Depression followed and I started to diet, work out, and got to a size 6 going on to a size 4. I look good. People have told me to go model and I already had really nice features, but now also the confidence and the body to boot. I have the courage to say, I am pretty. So I have met ex-in-laws because we still love each other. We are trying to keep a relationship. It is hard, but we will see. After COVID restrictions I saw them and they were all like, "Damn Gusta. You are smoking?" They all had a little giggle. Turns out AP has not only taken my lost husband but apparently also found some of my shedded weight. I am the skinny one now. So he has traded in an intelligent, funny, caring wife that was loved by his family for a hotter girl, only to have his ex turn into the hot one. I know, it is super petty, but it gives me a smile. The best weight loss was the 140 pounds cheating husband. May he enjoy his trophy. AP. Update, it has been a year, get over it already. 1/7/2020 was supposed to be my wedding anniversary. But I got I love you, but I am not in love with you. My world came crashing down. I got replaced by another woman. That week I wanted to end my life. I was so broken, so consumed by this pain. It was like my soul was on fire. My inside screaming, my head pounding. What had I done to deserve this? Why couldn't he be happy with the life that made me so happy? I stuck around. Couldn't do this to my family. People loved me. I had this incredible pain. Nothing mattered. I went to work but cried in meetings. Asked my boss to just fire me already. But people kept showing up for me and they were unwilling to give up on me. I put my life in boxes. Divide up the furniture we once lovingly bought together. Saved up for. Showing people in our house we spend very late nights painting, so excited to move in. We had fast food and made love on the floor. Seeing these people excited to rent this amazing house. It just broke me. But even in that deepest darkness there was a voice telling me, "I am excited for you, honey. You are free to be whoever you want. Who will you meet? You will get to fall in love again. Start over. Keep your head up. You got this." I got fit, I had a real post-divorce glow-up. Kept my job, got promoted. Dated unsuccessfully and got my heart broken. Got up again. Went on holidays with my dog, made new friends, bought my dream horse and saw her give birth to a lovely foal. Now here we are 1 year later. And I am not over it. Especially when I hear people say, "Get over it already." My life is still very much nowhere near where I would love it. I don't get as down as I was back then. It is not this all-engulfing burning sadness. It is this dark heavy veil I carry around. It doesn't stop me from doing things, but it slows me down. Makes it hard to get up at times. The hopeful voice is gone. It is no longer saying I will be okay. It is saying, why aren't you okay? Will you ever be okay? Why are you still single? What is wrong with you? It is weird. It has been a long time and I am nowhere near as depressed, but also nowhere near as hopeful. Hopefully this too shall pass. At the end, it has only be a year. I will get over it when I'm ready. Update. Went on a date. He is a former BS, but there is a twist. Karma strikes again. So went on a date and early on he was talking about trust in a relationship. I recognized another BS right away. So we shared battle stories about how we got duped. We were both left for another person. However, his story had a twist. He suddenly confessed that he should have known. See, he was her AP in the beginning. She told him she and her then boyfriend were platonic. She wanted to sleep with him a couple of times to be sure he was worth leaving her boyfriend for. So a monkey brancher, telling you they are monkey branching. I couldn't help but tell him he got exactly what he deserved when she monkey branched to the next better offer. Hope you learned your lesson. Karma strikes again. Just hope cheating miss gets her due as well. Honestly, we should be teaching kids healthy relationship patterns. They should recognize love beaming and monkey branching. Setting boundaries and being okay with being alone. The horrible people of this world wouldn't be able to just move to another partner so easily. Update. The person you trusted most set fire to your bed while you were sleeping. How will you ever sleep sound ever again? Just get over it already. I say it to myself sometimes. When I get triggered even after 1,5 year. When dating gives me panic attacks. When I see how much money my therapy costs. I try to be kind to myself, but some days I am so done with feeling so bad. On those days I like to think about what happened to me like this. I was sleeping a wonderful restful sleep. Next to the person I loved and trusted. While I was dreaming about my future, he set fire to our bed. I woke up screaming in pain. I tried to put the fire out. I wanted to save our house. I begged him to help me while the smoke was reaching my lungs. Please, our house we built together. Why are you letting it burn down? He shrugged his shoulders, told me the house had not been enough for him and he was done. He could have walked out of the house. He could have improved the house or work on it. But he decided to injure me and risk my life? Because he was not happy with the house. I gave up as I couldn't save it by myself and ran out of the house only to watch it all turn to dust. He walked away with not even a scratch. Straight into a new house. A house he was already living in behind your back. His stuff was already there, only your belongings were lost. The lights are on, there is a party. His friends are there. Nobody cares about you or your house. They are happy to see the new house and enjoy the optimism of the new couple. Finally, he is happy with his house. He proclaims this is his forever home. There is no time for you and your depressing wounds and pain. They rather not see you. You are an inconvenience. They don't want to recognize what their friend is capable of. It was an accident, he never meant for it to happen. Or they tell themselves that you probably deserved it. Or caused it yourself. They don't want to face the idea bad things happen to innocent people for no good reason. That idea is just too devastating to entertain. You clear up the rubble that was your house. Good friends help. They tend to your wounds. The pain is unbearable and you wonder if you can ever go on with these wounds. Slowly they heal. But the scars will always be there. People you meet see the scars and they ask you about it. But they don't understand how painful those burns were. Sometimes you meet someone with similar scars and they get it. Your skin will never be the same. It is not that simple anymore. It is rigid and it hurts to stretch. You used to go through life without worries, now you are reminded of what you lost every day. You work in therapy, you get treatments and you take care of yourself. The scars get better, less prominent. Some people even say they are hardly visible anymore. But sometimes you bump into things and the pain is fresh, and you try so hard to allow people in your house again. You even slept next to a new person, but you kept one eye open. Always on the lookout that they have a lighter. If they are capable of doing this to you again. But you remember you would never thought your ex would be capable, so do we ever really know? Can you ever really trust again? So the door stays locked. The only restful sleep is alone. Only because somebody decided to do the worst possible thing to you. Just because they were not happy with themselves. Edit. This is a metaphor how being cheated on and left feels. No matter how terrible a wife husband you may have been, setting you on fire when you sleep is cruel and unfair. Just like cheating. Update. What if him leaving me for his affair partner is the best thing that could happen to me from a growth perspective? Because I confused comfort with happiness. July 2020. My ex-husband proclaimed he had been unhappy forever and deserved someone more special than me. My world came crashing down. All these years 13 I believed I had this rare special kind of love. I had found this slice of heaven. He was enough. Taking care of him was enough. But I was in the matrix. I didn't know any better. He never yelled at me and seemed supportive on the surface. However, he slowly eroded my self-esteem. I constantly was in fear of letting him down. Not that he got angry, but I could feel the disappointment. It was pretty easy to let him down. Laundry not folded the same day? A dish in the sink? Not wanting to work in our garden every day in the weekend? Not wanting to spend time with him in his garage all the time because spending quality time with him meant doing what he wanted. I felt I was always at a deficit trying to keep up, however he felt so safe. His body an extension of mine. I loved touching him and spending time with him. We laughed, had inside jokes and great discussions all those years, but today I am out of the matrix. I have realized the damage he has done over the years to my self-esteem. How I was addicted to his confirmation and thought I would die without it. Seeing myself only through his eyes. The cheating was the meanest but only conclusion of our relationship. He can't be without a source for his ego. I was slowly rising above what he could control. Stealing his spotlight. Outperforming him in everything. Becoming confident and strong. He needed a low, insecure girl, and boy did he find one. I now know I was comfortable. As I am low maintenance, I confused it with happy. However, I was tired of all the time, struggling with my self-esteem. Desperate at times when he went through depressive episodes, and when he yet again wanted a lifestyle bigger than we could afford. I am not the same person. I can see him now for what he is. A sad little insecure empty person trying to hop at straws to make his hollow self feel full. He has no passion and love. He simply can't give that. I remember the first time I kissed another person. It was like electricity. I never felt this passionate ever before. I was kissing a person who actually desired me and it was magical. I'm still single but experienced people's words matching the feeling they give me. Telling me they missed me and I could feel it in their hug. For the first time in my life someone calls me beautiful and my brain goes I know. Instead of no, he is just saying that to be nice. For the first time ever I honestly don't care if people want me. If they don't, I don't take it personal. Thank you. Next. I will not settle. I will not be okay with scraps and breadcrumbs. People go for me or they don't, and that is fine. I look at myself now and can't believe how I was okay with being who I was. I am a lioness now. I used to be a declawed kitten. I am a better person on so many levels, and I can just taste how out of his league I am today. Sometimes I have a little laugh thinking about him trying to be with me today. How much of a bad time he would have. The hoops I wouldn't jump, not being able to control me. It would make him miserable. Update. The kindness of all you strangers in my deepest, darkest moments were part of the reasons I made it this far. I am thankful for all of you. TW. Suicidal thoughts. This is the second holiday season after my ex left me for his affair partner completely out of left field. Last year I was sitting at home alone for New Year's Eve while he and Schmoopy were having a party with the friends we used to party with. I am in a way better place than I was. But I have to be honest, I almost didn't make it. When he first dropped the bomb on me, I felt like I died. I would cry so hard veins in my face bursted. I had no voice and my eyes were bloodshot. I lost weight like a pound a day. I couldn't eat or sleep. I would take scalding hot showers so my skin hurt. I would bash my head against the cold tiles. The physical pain was a relief. I wanted to die. With him out of the house and with COVID lockdowns, there were so many hours in a day where I was alone with this darkness. I wanted to die and I had everything planned out. I was just waiting to get my life insurance adjusted so it wouldn't pay out to my ex. It pays out in case of suicide, I checked. Meanwhile, I was in this sub and sister subs. I learned I was not alone. That people got through this and some even got better on the other side. I read about people going at life like a goddamn goddess even though their odds were staked against them even more than mine, with kids in the mix and financial issues. Their bravery inspired me. The kindness and care of total strangers moved me in a way I can't explain. Like there are so many opportunities to meet good people. That there are good people out there whilst many people were disappointing me, especially the most important person for me at the time. You guys were so important. You and other sister subs. I thank the people who were further in the process to give me courage. The people who were at the same place as me, even taking the time to tell me I was not alone and to share how they were coping. I hope I can do something for the people who are behind me. I wish 2022 is going to be amazing for all of you. I hope you get the life, love and happiness you deserve. Thank you, my dearies. Update: you are super dangerous, a man said to me when I told him I would inform the wife of a married guy making a move on me. The world can be so backwards. This happened yesterday. I ride horses and I was at a competition. I met some people from my riding club, and it had been a while since I saw them. One older gentleman is very interested in my love life. He doesn't understand that I am still single 1,5 years later. Honestly, neither can I. He was telling me I should flirt with coworkers. That was a great pool to find someone. I said most of them were married anyway just to be rid of him. He said, well, you are single, you shouldn't care. Now this is a hot button for me and the shortest shortcut to get me angry. I have been angry here before when people go and defend APs because they didn't make vows. Stop it. They are SHT people. It is not because murder is a bigger crime that theft is okay. So I have been hit on by married men. It disgusts me and all it showed me is how insecure and sad you have to be to go for that. They don't like you, they just like that you are not their wife. None of these men were dumb enough to leave proof. If they had, I would have informed their wives. I said the same to the older gentleman and to my surprise he got angry at me. Called me a homewrecker and a dangerous woman. That if these things happen I need to shut up. He said that it was sad that I was so jealous of married people that I would go out and destroy their relationship. And if they have kids, how dare I? I was baffled to say the least. I tried to say that I was none of those things and not the one destroying a relationship. The cheaters were. I was not participating in their lies and cheating. I was not playing into that fantasy that the wife is terrible and I am the rainbow farting unicorn that will save them. That is the job of sad, insecure people. That is a homewrecker. He just stomped off being disappointed in me. I was just sitting there like WTF? This person who I always thought of as a nice older gentleman has these ideas about infidelity? It really hit me hard. Edited to say, did not think this would be so controversial. For the people who call me terrible for hypothetically informing cheaters' wives, as stated, didn't have enough proofs, so I didn't do it. Someone who breaks up happy homes, meddling busybody, entitled and selfish. Some sad single divorced woman who wants all women to be divorced. I tell you this, I see cheating as abuse. I have been on the receiving end and I know it is. If I have the power to stop abuse, I will. Yes, the wives might know and be okay with it. That is not my problem. I don't judge. Informed consent. A teacher who sees a child having bruises will check if this is innocent or not. According to your logic, it is not their business. We need to look out for each other a little more. Finally, I don't want to ever have to do this. I want people to have a lovely marriage. I want people to be happy. I wish I was never confronted with married men hitting on me because it is a major trigger. And if this attitude is the reason I am single according to some of you, well, I will proudly be single until I die. Update: anyone else feels like your life is just a bunch of side quests? The divorce? BG:1, 5 years ago my ex cheated on me and left me for the affair partner. I thought we had a great marriage, so for me it came out of left field. It broke me for a very long time. I am doing better, but still. I am not there. So I am also a gamer and I was playing Assassin's Creed and I finished the main story. I was doing the side quests and the treasure hunts and it just bored me. I didn't see the point of finding rare gear or upgrading my skills when the boss fight was already over. It just hit me that my life feels the same. My marriage was the main quest. I wanted to level up in my career so I could earn more to spend on our lives. I had my hobby, but I wanted to level up there as well to make him proud. I wanted to look good for him. I wanted to be healthy and sexy for him. Today I am doing my favorite side quests. I am leveling up my career and my hobby. I am maxing out my look stats, health stats. I am more confident and did some dating quests. When it comes to experience and enjoyment, my life is awesome. I have done things and people I would never have done if I kept my husband, obviously, because I am not a cheater. I have no responsibilities outside my job. I just do whatever the hell I want, but it all feels as useless as in the game. I don't feel like it matters. Like I am just going from one simple pleasure to the other. Collecting experience points and items just to have them in inventory. Preparing for an epic battle that would never come. Just killing time. I really miss building a life. Taking care of someone. Dreaming of our future. Saving up for a trips. Buying some sexy underwear to see his reaction. Thinking about how to surprise him or make him happy. Having someone to be proud of me when I level up. I know being single is not failure. I know I need to give my life meaning all by myself first. I know I am my own main quest, but still. It feels like hollow, meaningless enjoyment. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, yes, basically I lost the boss fight against the divorce monster. Trained my whole life to defeat him. Promised myself I'd never let him hurt my children. Fought him off for years until I finally realized staying was only hurting my children and me. Maybe you are young enough to start over with the deluxe HD version? Sounds like you are upgrading your rig to handle the bigger resource requirements for the new version. That should give you a far smoother playing experience and a good chance to complete the game 100% with all bonuses. Op answer: ha ha ha, the extended version. I am at level 36, I hope I get to play again. Not sure. I have no kids, so it is an achievement I would still like to do, but I will be okay if it doesn't happen. I understand that I might be too old for it. Hope you can find a main quest and slay all the bosses. Redditor 2, I absolutely relate to this. I think we all need a main quest. It doesn't have to be marriage, but marriage is the easiest main quest for people to find, so most people choose it as their main quest. One of the most amazing people I've ever met was a 95-year-old nun at my mom's church. Never met anyone so full of life and joy. Never married, never had kids, but she had a main quest. Not saying to become a nun, but I agree with you. We all need something. Op answer: she was playing a different game altogether. I also think that media had played that role. Every movie has a love interest. The relationship is the big win. Redditor 3, this is a perfect description of how I feel. I appreciate you putting it in game terms, because it made me realize what I felt was elking. The main quest. My entire life, even when I was a young teenager, I can remember wanting to be married. I have all these amazing examples of long-lasting, loving marriages in my family, and I wanted that. Pretty much every decision I made in my life was in service to that main quest. Graduate HS with good grades, so I could get scholarships, so I could go to college, so I could get a good career, so I could support a family, even just a 2-person family, so I could be responsible enough to know I could follow through on a marriage, etc. I met this amazing woman along the way, and we created a new main quest together. But now, the main quest is just gone. It's like I lost the game, but instead of getting to start over from a checkpoint or something, all I have left to do are side quests. I can't finish the story, but I just keep playing, hoping that one day a new main quest will surface. Op answer: key thing is, we are the main quest. We are the story. But it doesn't feel like that at the moment. I do hope you unlock a new character that changes the game. Redditor 4, I know exactly what you mean. I was chatting with my therapist about my depression, and he asked, "What do you have to live for?" And honestly, I couldn't answer him with any meaning, not because I feel suicidal or don't want to live, but because the things that came to mind were sort of selfish and have no purpose or meaning. When you don't have kids or a significant other and you're just going through the motions every day, it does feel like a side quest for sure. Redditor follow-up: should I KLL myself, or have a cup of coffee? Albert Camus: maybe start choosing your side quests that are aligned with going up to another boss fight?